Banner of Command is back in the game? Riot, what are you doing? Hello everyone and welcome to another ProGuides video. I'm Dan and today we'll be talking about some news straight from Riot themselves. We've got updates on player behavior systems, the new item shop, and most excitingly, a brand new tier of items is being added to the game. But before we get into all that, today's question of the day is, what role or champs do you think need new itemization the most? For me, it has to be mages. Every game, their items seem pretty much the same path, with the only difference really being if they need a Zhonya's or not. Be sure to let us know your answers in the comments below. And one last thing, be sure to visit us at ProGuides.com. We have the best roster of coaches, top-tier live classes from instructors like Mike Young and Zyrene, and courses covering a variety of roles and champs from your favorite pro players like Doublelift. We also have a brand new VOD review feature, and we're super excited for you to try it out. The way it works is you send in a replay file, and the coach sends you back a fully reviewed VOD. It's a super convenient option that can save you a ton of time. Now, without further ado, let's dive into this exciting news. In line with their regular dev blogs aimed at transparency and honesty towards the community, Riot has a video series called Riot Please, where one of the devs talks to us via a vlog, going more in depth about upcoming plans, changes, and developments behind the scenes. In the most recent video released just yesterday, they gave us some juicy details about the upcoming item systems change. If you don't know what item changes we're talking about, Riot has previously talked about an entire item system update. League is over a decade old now, and while Riot is obviously going to continue pumping out new champs, they have to modernize some of the foundations the game is built on too. We're getting a new interface, with the recommended tab being completely overhauled for a new intuitive one that changes based on Riot's API, with suggested items being recommended based on what's popular lately on a per champ basis, and with item suggestions even changing game to game based on the enemy team comp. Say the enemy comp looks something like this: Maokai, Sejuani, Zed, Ashe, Sona. It'll recommend Zhonya's when you need to deal with the threat of Zed, Void Staff to pierce through MR to kill with the tanks, and Rabadon's to just give more damage if you want to focus on killing their squishies. This new system is much better than dealing with Riot's current system, which leads new players astray. In addition to this, we also know Riot plans on redoing many of the items themselves. The current outlook is this: of all the items in the game, about 1/3 will stay the same, 1/3 will be updated, and 1/3 will be completely removed and replaced with a brand new item. Also, many item icons will be getting some touch-ups. Most of you have probably seen our video outlining the changes above. If you haven't seen that already, take a moment to sub to our channel so you're never out of the loop again. Now onto what's actually new. Out of all the changes, the biggest, most exciting by far is the introduction of Mythic Items, an entirely new tier of items for League. These items serve more than just to increase your tankiness or damage output. They can completely define your playstyle when you pick them up, and they're so overpowered that you're limited to buying just one per game. What keystones are to runes, mythics are to items. When you pick up a mythic item, it grants a unique set of bonus stats to your other completed items, meaning that they just get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. While we don't quite know all of the mythics yet, we did get a sneak peek at a few of them, starting with the marksman variants. If you're tired of working hard to farm, secure kills, and be ahead of the curve, just to be one-shot by that 2 and 5 Kha'Zix or Zed, then Crimson Shield Bow is the item for you. It offers slightly less offense than the next two items, but 50 AD, 15% attack speed, 20% crit chance, and 12% lifesteal is a pretty good bundle of stats. But like all mythics, you really build it for the passives. First, it grants you a huge shield and 20% increased lifesteal for 8 seconds when you dip below 30% HP. This shield and increased healing gives you the chance to actually survive bursts and heal up the damage before your assailant's cooldowns come back up for more. Its mythic passive grants your other legendary items 8 armor and MR. So as the game goes on, you get tankier for each item you complete. While this item won't make you completely immune to all threats, hopefully it helps in the times where you aren't quite getting the peel and protection you need from your team. If you choose to forego the defensive option in favor of just being an absolute glass cannon, then maybe the new Behemoth Slayer is it for you. The stats on this are pure damage with 60 AD, 25% attack speed, and 20% crit chance. Its passive makes it so every third attack deals extra damage, scaling with both your level and 30% of your bonus AD as true damage. This is gonna be crazy for shredding through enemies, tanks, and squishies alike. That huge bonus damage ratio is going to be especially crazy on champs like Jhin. Lining up a third attack with Behemoth Slayer on a fourth shot will be a masterpiece. The Mythic passive for this one gives all other legendary items 5% increased critical strike damage. Building full glass cannon and topping off your other items with this will make you feel like a true hyper carry, and I can't wait to see champs like Jinx pop off in the late game. What about the games where you need help surviving, but it's not enough to just be tankier? Getting hit by that skill shot will doom you no matter what, and you need to dodge it no matter what. The problem is you're immobile and flash is down. If only you had 2 flashes. Enter Gale Force. This item has 60 AD, 15% attack speed, and 20% crit chance. This item comes with an active that gives ADCs a small dash. Okay, it's not fully a flash, but still, it can definitely help dodge skill shots. This dash can't cross terrain and does damage to the lowest HP nearby enemy based on your level and 30% of your bonus AD. On top of that, the damage goes up the lower the target is. This item is gonna be crazy. It'll help the otherwise immobile hyper carries like Kog'Maw and Jinx evade things like Blitz Hook. And even if you never have to use it defensively, you can use it to finish off enemies with the dash instead. The Mythic passive on the last of the ADC Mythics gives all other completed items plus 2% movement speed, so even when the dash is down, you get a little bit of extra mobility for navigating fights. In addition to these Mythic items, we've seen some of the revamps and completely new items being added. SafeLocked specifically stated that Riot is specifically marking items for AP bruisers. Hopefully, this means no more ambiguously blurred lines like the new Cursed Demon Helm. This item gives 80 AP, 400 health, and makes it so your abilities apply a burn to the enemy that deals 2% of the target's max HP per second, with your champ getting 20 armor and MR each second enemies are afflicted. This means champs like Vladimir, Swain, and Fiddle will be even harder to burn down in extended fights. One of the tooltips we can see in the item shop of the Riot Please video is an item called Battering Ram, but according to Mark Yetter on Twitter, this item has gone through some heavy changes since the time that this was screen capped, and we won't be seeing this exact version of the item on live. In the same tweet, he added that the current goal for fighter mythics is to give them these 3 options: stickiness for staying on top of slippery targets, tank busting, and dueling. The last item change is a huge one. With Grievous Wounds practically a necessity these days, that entire system has received an overhaul. While the stats on the items themselves aren't exactly known, the Grievous Wounds will be applied as either a 40% or 60% reduction in healing, with the specific conditions depending on the item build. Specifically, Mark said it will work something like this for each class. For ADCs, auto-attacking applies the smaller amount, and autoing 3 times ramps it up to the full 60%. For mages and assassins, dealing damage applies the smaller amount, and damaging low HP enemies applies the full 60%. For tanks and enchanters, dealing damage or proccing Thornmail will apply the smaller amount, while hitting CC will apply the full 60%. For fighters, Grievous Wounds are still a work in progress. Oh, and I know I mentioned Banner of Command being back in the game, but it's just an item icon in the shop. We have no clue what that really is, but let's all hope if it's back, it's at least balanced. We're here for League, not StarCraft. No one wants to lose to being backdoored by a minion. That's all we have for the items, and it's just the tip of the iceberg for all the changes we're going to be getting. I, for one, am super excited to see all this new stuff coming out. Be sure to sub to the channel so you can be one of the first to know when we hear anything. In addition to the main course, this Riot Please came with some very welcome side dishes. Riot has almost hit all of their target champs with skins this year, with the last 3 on the list being Ornn, Skarner, and Naut. While we don't know much about Naut's skin, in this video we actually get to see that Ornn will be receiving an Elderwood skin, and Skarner will be taking to the stars with a Cosmic skin. The video goes on to recap the updates on the player behavior systems, namely champ select, reporting, and better ability to detect game-ruining behavior, like soft inting and trolling/AFKing. The system is now able to catch double the previous number of griefers, and Riot is working harder to help with detecting even the least obvious cases from slipping between the cracks. Punishments will include things like even stricter Q lockout times and penalties to a player's ranked LP. For when games are griefed by the bad guys, there will be some systems put in place to help ease the pain, namely early surrendering and LP loss mitigation. Trolls and rage quitters ruin the game enough as it is, and no one wants to sit and wait for 15 or 20 minutes to get out. This new system lets you get onto a new, better game fast. And to put a band-aid on the wound, your LP losses will be cut. Before we go, the last thing I want to mention is that SafeLocked gave the final count on the COVID-19 fundraiser event. The League community all over the globe came together and raised over $2 million for global pandemic relief. Thanks so much to those of you who helped make the world a little bit better for those in need. And that's all we have to cover from yesterday's Riot Please. I hope you're all as excited about all these upcoming changes and developments as I am. Remember to let us know what role needs that item update the most in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, good luck on the Rift, stay safe, and please wash those hands. Bye for now.